record business. All right, so this is, I told you that 6% off what I got off of that, off my stepmom. But I decided I was gonna like give you guys, you know, a sort of full amount and then let you decide what to do with it. But then I figured you two are partners in it. So that's for you, and that's for you, just for, oops.
Oh, good. That,
And then,
that,
and then just a little bit for you because so, whatever kind of expense you have or whatever.
Thanks, Pops.
Start.
There you go, good bet. And then, this is all going, this is all still, this is the $7 we raised, so I have not spent it, so you guys know it's all sitting here. This is the,
Oh, I forgot.
just throwing it all around, so. Well, I appreciate all of you, and then we'll just basically just, you know, I mean, this is basically going towards actually starting the nonprofit itself. I think as soon as we can get the actual nonprofit like registered, we create an account associated with it, and we start putting the money into the account and start doing things with it.
Yeah.
So that'll be
That
a
would
really
be
good,
wise.
that'll be a good start.
Like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. So we need 425.
Then we can
So-
open a Square account and connect
100,
electronic donation.
60,
So here's the other bit of business to do with you, Chris, with the horse thing. Just before we
Everyone
start,
donate
I might be
that.
taking off. the
That's
meeting
sustainable
anyway.
right there.
I might be taking off the meeting anyway, so I wanted to just get quickly on the seahorse thing.
Yeah.
You know, we had already talked about it, but, so what I'm thinking of doing is I bought some materials, I still haven't come up. But, I'll just take care of the, materials. In other words, I'm not gonna even, you've already given me money, but I spent it on materials, but, then you can just take the rest of the money, but what I'm gonna expect is that you get it done by like Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I mean, I plan on getting it done like.
And I'll be there to help you out, like, in other words, I'll be there working with you, but I wanna get it done so that I can leave
I mean,
my
I'm planning
job
on
on
trying to
clean-
get as much done as I
with a
can.
clean slate.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I'm
know.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
and hopefully the buckets are coming down, like, look at the tracking. and
Oh, that's
that,
right, I forgot the.
that they just suspended it because of the hurricane, so yesterday, I'm sure they didn't even drive yesterday.
Yeah.
Speaking of needing income.
So anyway, that's it, and then, so you can take the balance on the job. And I'll pay for the materials, but just, like, I'm expecting, like I said, get it done by
I
Tuesday.
mean, yeah,
And
definitely.
then John, if I pick it up.
I'm gonna try to get it done before the weekend's over.
Okay.
Especially, I mean, if the buckets come today, I'm just gonna try to at least get all the.
Because especially I'm gonna be helping you with the band.
Yeah. Well, so, but it's full of acrylic compound used for,
Yeah.
the material, so we're gonna cast the acrylic.
No, these are like, they're 200 piece. Like acrylic binders, like.
200 pounds or
$200 per
Yeah, I was like-
5-gallon bucket,
Yeah. It was like
the
$9.
material, not the bucket.
material.
Okay.
The bucket probably.
Like, that's an expensive
$2
bucket.
We got some buckets.
Yeah, we got the buckets. But yeah, it's a 8-foot tall, seahorse. It's like a big ass thing and it's pretty cool. It'll be nice, working on that, so.
So go and then I'm done.
Yeah, so, I mean, we were recording that whole time.
Oh, yeah, man.
You know, it's chill. I like your nails, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Good today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, basically just, you know, fill you guys in. I'm gonna be moving. It's okay. I think, we'll be able to continue to do this meeting. I'm just gonna come up here and make it work. So, you know, we'll try to figure all that kind of stuff out.
I might not be here next week. I'm
Yeah.
living out in Parrish now.
Okay.
Doing some house sitting, so.
Cool.
I was thought about just getting on Zoom, but I was like, I should be there.
Did you send the link on the Zoom? You're on the.
Yep,
thing
it's in the messenger chat.
here? Maybe we'll see if we did.
It's on.
Okay, so Chris,
Yeah,
you have divided Communitopia into like 3 like main categories, right?
ish, yeah.
Building, planting, and what was the third?
Education.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, basically on the write-up. Now, has everyone read that? The write-up? Yeah, I thought that you.
I-
did.
My thing
I read
with
it
that
before
is-
it was revised for sure.
Yeah, so I added a couple things to it, recently, it being,
Um,
something I think that's important. What's up?
So my thing with this is
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that you have this made,
Mhm.
I mean, really sooner than later, because being more organized is like better. Now it's time to make the different Facebook groups so you can
Yeah.
have people put the people that they want in there, because
Mm-hmm.
Alex is someone who's ready to do that.
Yeah, I know, that's for
With
sure.
the different Facebook groups, he's ready to have, he knows people who want to do this. He
Right.
knows people who want to do this.
I do too.
But he
I
wants
do
it
too.
to be more organized before he pulls them into this.
Yeah, I get that.
Right.
And that's definitely that is definitely a plan. That's that and the affiliates, which I really want to do that one too, which is essentially just supporting people's businesses and their nonprofits and their strategies, whatever it is. Just
Why not
basically
try
have-
this in with this?
Well, because-
it's not,
Yeah.
yeah, it's commerce, it's not education.
Yeah, it's really more of like people advertising. And being able to kind of like put it under like a branding and be able to kind of like have a space that people can
Which
go
is,
to.
which is good. I mean, adding another pillar is okay, I think. Having,
Yeah, yeah. You know, and
having
this is,
commerce as a pillar is good.
that's definitely true. I mean, yeah, that's another leg of the table, right? So,
Okay.
but you know, I mean, there's a lot of things because there's still even like, you know,
With these, things, I would pick
Although
one
each of
person-
these categories could theoretically overlap with this.
it kind of
So,
does
like-
anyway. That's the thing. That's why I was thinking about that because it's like, you know, for instance, there's a number of, you know, I wrote it down really
like
quickly.
how I
but-
was talking about, how I could do like a featured Friday or whatever.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can essentially do the same thing in each of these groups like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's just something for you to think about
No,
and not decide
I
on
love
right
that.
now.
I do love that, and I think this 1, 2, 3 is really important. I think we should get that started along with the affiliates. Like the art and like events can kind of come like a little bit later.
With these, I would ask the group chat. I would be like, who wants to start doing this? Who wants to
That's
start doing this?
that is
And get it
definitely
outsource the work.
It's going to be that, but it's going to be also through the
We have
Communitopia
a Zoom
Facebook page.
You
attendee.
could have different admins on
Sunshine.
groups.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
you
That-
can appoint someone.
that Jessica?
in a group.
Probably. Yep, there she is.
Yay! Connecting
Hi.
to audio.
So someone
Yay.
So someone in the group chat, like one person can do this, that, because you are already doing a lot.
No, definitely, yeah. So.
But
Let's
also,
make- let's-
no one
oh,
has
her
made
audio's
any,
connecting.
no one has made any
She's
attempt to do the
connected.
artwork.
There we go.
Can you hear us? Oh, still connecting. All right.
It's okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
We probably need to re-talk in the group chat about helping with the cover photo or the profile picture, because that was something really easy that someone could contribute to. There's a lot of artistic people on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And no one is contributing to it, and I would like to address that in the group chat. Because there's so many artistic people on there, and someone really needs to come forward and put in some work.
We'll just straight up, we'll give them the incentive by telling them we'll use AI instead. We want real art.
It's
like,
like,
we're gonna.
I'm not against it.
No, me either, but like a lot of people are, so their artists be like, well, we're gonna use AI if you guys don't
Yeah,
come in
that-
and
that
make
was
some
not
more art
right.
for us.
Because you really need to
Makes it less
outsource
drag.
a lot of these projects.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Definitely, that's
I got
a
friends named AI.
that is a huge component. We're basically going to be creating the different groups and they're gonna be associated with different things. Even with like the food tours and stuff, you know, I know a number of people that like, you know, I've been talking to this guy, Randy Ryan, down in Pine Island it's like Earth Farm 9. He's been doing really good stuff out there, planning a lot of things with Jungle J Hardman, who's in Beacon Food Tours, which is north of here. There's a number of places that we could get people connected to like both network and learn and essentially set them up like with the education systems for all that.
When you make the Facebook groups, you know how you're doing like an introduction thing in the group chat?
Yeah.
When you make the Facebook groups, you can do the same thing in a post. Just like write that down or just like take note of that in your head, like make an intro post for whenever you're adding people to the groups. That way people feel more obliged to interact.
Yeah.
I
So
think
that's
we've
like an
been doing a
automatic
good
thing.
job of that-ish.
What's that?
I think we've been doing
Yeah,
a
we've
pretty
been
good
getting,
job
we've
of
been getting
that.
there, but definitely with the individualized groups, we basically want to create individual momentum that is like collectively adding to the momentum of Communitopia, right?
You just
So-
use Cassandra's board.
You're
like-
saying
Pretty much.
that can be an automatic thing, right? Like, in other words,
Right.
it can be an automatic message that pops up every time someone joins.
Well, sometimes,
You could write an AI that would do that.
I do, yeah.
sometimes when I join a group on Facebook, Like the group will make a post and tag all the new members and
right.
like tell
Yeah.
them to say hi.
And I
Absolutely.
think that's probably automatic,
Yeah.
right? Like in other words, that.
You gotta go through and do it.
Now they have to go through it.
You would have to have an AI designed to do that if it was gonna be automatic.
Which we can do that, which is I have been talking about, as much as we can, even automating the Primerica stuff. So.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was just like.
I don't know how to make that.
It's like easy these days.
I don't know how to make that automated.
So-
I know how to pay someone to do that, but I don't. know how to
Yeah,
make it
we'll
automatic.
figure it out. It doesn't necessarily need to be automated at first.
I
we
was
can-
I just sat in on an AI like mini masterclass,
Yeah.
and there's an AI called ManyChat that we can use to create these sort of automated experiences
Yeah, I was
for
looking into that.
members.
So yeah, and
It's out
that's,
there.
that's basically what I'm thinking is I want the friend page, the profile page that we have currently. I want that to be the kind of the sorting mechanism to put people into the positions that they want to be in.
That's where the AI would like.
That is, and the Facebook page, the official like business page for it, that'll be more like just people who are kind of chatting and want to keep a lookout. That'll be kind of more like the advertising, slash like, you know,
You can make that.
Should we engage with
yeah. How's it going, Jessica?
Good. Just listening.
Thanks for joining in today.
Welcome. I'm very interested.
Yeah, nice. So-
how's our sound quality?
It's good. It's good.
Okay, great.
Nice. Yeah, we can hear you too. We're still kind of getting everything set up. I think this is our 4th meeting, I believe. So we've been meeting for about a month now. We've got quite a bit of interest in all this and a lot of momentum behind things. We're still just kind of currently in the planning stages. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're interested in it, I can send you. We'll do this afterwards or whatever, but I can get you connected with this. Can you actually make me post?
Yeah, I got you.
I've basically done a write-up for Communitopia, which will basically be like the thing that we're using to say like get grants and kind of like organize the whole structure and everything like that. It's something that I've just basically just been sharing the Google Docs with people. But I'll just share my screen really quick. So screen is loading. There we go. So we're sharing. So this is kind of the plan. We got our mission statement and vision here. If we wanted to read that really quick, just dedicated to forming a harmonious coexistence between
share it with
humanity. I think I did. Oh yeah, here. Let me just get your email actually now. That's probably the quickest. Can you just type that into the Zoom chat?
Yeah, do it.
But yeah, that's what I wanted to
Cool.
say. in this
I love
meeting.
it. I definitely think that it's time to start kind of like spreading out a little
Specializing.
bit, specializing, yeah, and really kind of like getting the necessary
structure.
people.
The
But,
bones.
Maybe next week we can do this.
yeah,
Since
I
there's
like
a
that.
lot
It
going on this
could
week.
even potentially be before then.
What are we waiting on?
Um,
I have plenty of time.
yeah.
If we have projects.
Yeah, I'll send that later.
Yeah, I don't know. if it's
What was that,
connected or
Jessica?
not.
Name in there or my email.
You could make the
Yeah.
different Facebook groups on the Communitopia Facebook.
Yeah,
No
that'd be
worries.
easy.
Just send it when you can.
Okay.
We'll fix it. We'll figure it out.
You guys will just
But-
have to decide on the name.
So the most
Different things.
the most recent thing that
It can always change.
I built. So I started building this part, which I think is a critical aspect as well. That's basically, which is like basically another branch of it. It's the healing branch, the kind of like the more spiritual side of
Wouldn't that
things.
be-
Yeah, it's kind of, yeah, it is. It's connected to the education.
You
You're
don't
right.
like so many.
Well, it's gonna. I mean, we're building society from the inside out, so we're gonna have to have so many things. But I do agree that it's not necessarily like we're gonna create all these things at once and just start like spreading everything out. I think these are the main pillars: the building, the food forest, and the education. And the education does tie into a lot of all the different things, even like education of arts and things like that. But basically, and so in case people didn't know. We did do our first interview And that's something that I'd like to get you set up on as well, Jessica. We've basically been doing interviews for people. It's really just an understanding of like what it is that they love and care about and what's important to them. And the most recent and like really the first person that we did this interview for is this girl Selena, who is in our financial advising group as well. And so she's really interested in the education aspect. She's very like she's got a kid of her own and is really like trying like I think, you know, a lot of us are in pretty solid agreement that the current education system is a piece of shit and it's you know, just the public education just like doesn't even really like care about the kids that much either. Yeah, so we're kind of coming up with new ways, like my partner Kakala, who's also in the chat, was expressing interest. So I think like, you know, one of the fundamental aspects would be to just start you know, ways that we can interact with children and even adults alike who are interested in learning about absolutely anything, being able to get them connected into the right places with mentors that'll be able to guide them along the way. So the education is very mentor based, which I think and it's important to start getting people, what we're looking for is getting people who are willing to start putting some like leadership effort into like teaching people you know, aspects of it. So for instance, with the food forest, like I was saying, with Beacon Food Forest and our Earth Farm 9, I mean, Earth Farm 9, the guy is doing he's been doing outdoor mycelial cultivation, mushroom cultivation, just like, you know, plugs in the trees and stuff, and fresh wood. So that's like, you know, this is stuff that we can start getting people who are like interested in mushrooms to go down there with, like, say it's just like, you know, you and I, Blitz, and a few other people who are interested in the mushrooms, bring people over to this space, learn some stuff, you know, kind of get things activated. And then now those people know about, you know, about that. And then like, for instance, my buddy Lynn is very well trained in beekeeping. You remember Lynn Micey from way back in like literally 8th grade? It's like or sixth and seventh grade. Yeah. So, you know, this is a friend from a long time ago, and he's a photographer now and stuff. He's like got 3D printers and things. So he's doing a lot of different things. But he also is extremely skilled in beekeeping. And I was like, you know, well, maybe we can set up a class where people who are all interested in beekeeping come and, you know, we charge some for tickets and you make some money off of it. Exactly. There's so many people who want to learn about it, and if we start spreading that, and then we just make the, you know, part of the planting would be bees, that would be its own sort of thing, and it would be integrated into the food forest, and we'd have our own, you know, basically support system for that.
Very intelligent.
So, yeah,
You
so
know, I see planting as falling into these categories.
It
It's
all
like
does.
it's like a building and like there's the education part and then the building part, right?
it really all does, because like people are gonna come in who don't know how, for instance, like, you know, well, with building, you know, I wanna drive aircrete domes. You know, we need somebody who is skilled in building aircrete
We
domes.
need like a big Venn diagram, right?
It is, yeah.
Where all these
where it's
things overlapping.
But some people will come in and they'll already know about the things. They don't really want to be a part of like the education system, but but they're still going to teach.
But they are
people to
teaching
build.
people, yeah.
Right. So, but I mean the education as far as like, maybe they want to like work with.
They're
kids.
one of the mentors
Whatever.
instead of one of the
I'm,
students,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. What's up?
hey, I'm part of the Tampa Bay Wild School, and I'm like one of the event coordinators. I do the art aspect of it a lot.
Nice.
But a lot of like-minded people in that group as well. Hey JJ, can you please go? But I can definitely get in touch with a lot of them and see what they say with the educational part. If they want to contribute or anything like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. That'd be perfect. That's definitely what this is all
Awesome
about.
idea.
Yeah, we definitely want to
You know-
connect as many people as we can that are like this whole thing, honestly, this whole project is really just like a networking project where we're just putting people into connection with each other and creating momentum behind that to accomplish things. So it's like, you know, there's already all these things that exist that are, you know, kind of accomplishing some of these things. And now we can start putting people together and say, you know, well, if you're connected with Communitopia, then we've got all these different things that you can choose from to be a part of, and then we basically just encourage people to go do it. You know, so we can actually accomplish some projects. So one of those being, we want to get started or at least just work with some of the pre-existing, you know, community gardens around here and start just like getting some food forests planted somewhere, you know, so we have some place to actually like, you know, put this energy. So I think that's really one of the critical aspects would be, you know, just starting up a food forest very soon. And that's what we've been talking about as well.
I think having those yeah, go.
No, that's it.
I do think I think getting the legal legal shield, like the legal
Yeah.
the contracts for work trade is super important to just have
With the agreement
have a
itself.
system in place so that
Right.
people's labor and all this is like protected.
I highly agree. I
Yeah.
think, you know, the more legitimate we can come up with legal contracts, and I think that would be a really great place to start, just get legal shield. And maybe that's even something because it's $28 a month.
Yeah.
You might even
The
get it
small
with
business
it.
one is probably the one we want.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. So
Yeah.
it's like one, maybe a little more expensive.
Yeah, it's a little bit pricier, but it includes more of what we need as far as like contracting and dealing
Basically,
with
this is a
clients and-
program that actually just supplies you with the agreements.
So this
Or
is,
no.
It'll
yeah,
give us the contracts, it'll help us with incorporation and making sure we have all our ducks in a row as far as, yeah.
so this is a service offered by Primerica that
All
we're
right.
doing. So it's actually just one of the many things that they offer for really good prices.
It'll help us with having like the member agreements too, as far as like what someone signing to be
That's kind of
allow us to
that's
use
what-
use the land and
That as well. So that,
There should be agreements on all of it, obviously.
right, yeah, from the client and the
Landowner. or-
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
really
any
weird.
any part of the network, they need an agreement in place
Even
to
volunteer.
protect their rights.
Right, even volunteer contracts and agreements are really important because you gotta get up in about liability and things like that. Like,
You can
if
be a-
someone comes and just,
You could be a volunteer without having to sign an agreement if you're not using the land or like.
you know, and I guess what I'm
if you're
saying
just,
is, so too, even if you have like a, say, an event on a certain.
Yeah,
place
yeah,
and you're-
yeah,
And
yeah.
you're getting a
Yeah,
bunch of.
liability,
Right, you wanna make sure
waivers,
that.
liability waivers, still help us with liability waivers too.
That's what I'm getting at, and you gotta, I mean, you gotta protect yourselves, but you also gotta protect the people that are coming, so they understand what they're being into. I mean, like, it isn't like a shady thing, well, yeah, grab a shovel or a, axe over there and come help us, and
Right.
then next thing you know, everybody's upset.
Exactly.
So, yes, I definitely agree with that. That's kind of a little bit brings me into the thing that I just wrote up recently, which is really just at the very beginning. I'm already thinking of a number of things that need to be added to it, but this is kind of like some of the agreements for the foundations of community. It's kind of like a beginning, step in just kind of understanding like how people can become integrated in what we're trying to do and have like an agreement that they, that they can see, that we can refer to, that they can sign on. They can understand what it means to be part of the work trade agreements, what it is to be part of a mentorship program, how we make decisions, which is through consensus and, discussion. Where we might have mentioned this last time, but Blitz and I have talked about having, like kind of like a debate, like a debate event where we essentially come together and discuss a lot of the things and have people, kind of going back and forth. And all that.
I think we should maybe start looking for a location and a time to have that experience.
I mean, it could be, we
as
could-
like a just having like preliminary talks with the community about starting about
it
organizing
could be
something like this.
somewhat related to the workshop that we're doing. We could maybe do it every other, like we're doing it that every other week, then we could get started the alternate week, start doing
The
that.
workshop on abundance isn't today though, right?
No,
I got
that's
Tuesday. I
the
got
workshop
that,
on abundance is in,
Next Tuesday.
it's in like a
6 days,
week.
5 days.
So Jessica, Blitz and I, so by the way, this is Blitz over here, right there.
I'm on.
Only reason I brought that up
I'm on
is for
my
some
phone.
reason.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
got,
Right here.
Yeah.
I just got the a notification that it's today, but not you, but
What?
it must be from a leftover, either you said it for a different day and then you changed
No,
it.
I mean,
You told me tonight.
no. I hope I didn't fuck
Look,
up.
we can check.
Anyway, we'll figure it out. So essentially, Glitz and I are, we're business partners in a number of different ways, but we were kind of the ones that started forming this. And then my dad is brought into the whole mix. My partner, Reed, who's off camera, named Princess, she's over here as well. And then Carrington is the one running the coffee shop, but also kind of he's also a part of the team and developing a lot of these ideas. So just to kind of like give you that rundown, and so Blitz and I are going to be hosting a workshop, not this coming Tuesday, or is it? No, it is. It's this coming
Tuesday.
Tuesday. So it's basically, it's 5 days away or so. Have you been around like St. Pete area that much? Okay. Do you know Roots to Crown by chance?
I actually haven't been there yet.
Okay, so this would be a really good opportunity for you to come and check it out. We'll be doing it on on the 5th, this coming Tuesday, from basically like 5 o'clock or so. We'll be
Okay.
starting up. So it's basically, we're gonna be talking about just concepts of like energy exchange and value and the way that we can kind of come together as a community and like understand, how we can like work together and like feel like, feel confident in each other and ourselves that we're like taking care of each other, right? Instead of it like, I know I've been through many circumstances where there's not solid agreements behind things and it's led to serious problems and misunderstandings. And then also just talking about how we like utilize our resources properly and things like that. So it's kind of like somewhat of a like beginning to, the work trade structures probably. It's like kind of like associated with that and really just like what
Also,
we're trying
like
to
the
do.
foundation
It
just
is.
of,
It's a very big foundation.
of the energy work associated with abundance, with our relationship to money and the way money is like this placeholder for the energy of cooperation and
Right.
whatnot.
So,
Good.
that's something to keep in mind. I'd love to see you there, and I can, we'll keep reaching out and stuff, and kind of connect with you near that time. But yeah,
As long as I'm good.
what's that?
As long as I can bring my little one, I'm good.
Oh yeah, you're definitely you can bring the little one. It's
And
probably,
I
it'd
think
probably be good.
it'll be on Zoom too. So.
Yeah, we should probably stream it on Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but definitely encourage people to come in, and then also afterwards, we're planning on going up to the northern part of Tampa for a meeting with all of our financial advising team. That's also open to you if you were interested in pursuing that. That's a really good event to kind of go to, and they just do, it's a team training, so it's just that they kind of like show you some of the, they run you down with some of like the information and stuff, and you kind of see what that sort of, what's developing on that side of things. So, and that's something that Glitz and I are working pretty closely together on. So, but yeah, so, anyway, yeah, basically, I think this is something that we want to continue adding to as far as this, everyone here should be thinking about like the types of agreements that we want to make as being a part of a community. There's definitely some things that I left off here. I got, some of them, got the communication and nonviolent, nonviolent communication, basically, inclusivity, and then being able to evaluate and adapt the agreement itself. So, that's stuff that I think everyone should contribute something to that, because I mean, that's a really important thing.
Yeah, it's like it's like
become integrated.
common sense, right? So it's kind of this thing that you're like, okay, I know the answers to these questions are obvious.
Yeah,
I got to put some thought into this actually to like decode these natural ways of thinking and being that are obvious to me in order to put them down on paper.
AI has helped a little bit in all this construction because it kind of does fill in those gaps, but there's definitely some things that I haven't, that it didn't come up with. And one of the things I know, in fact, I'm just going to add a little note here.
Okay. Just
Under
on that note
inclusivity.
too, with your
Right there.
use of AI, I'd like to say that the real potential or powerful part of AI is that it does take into account hundreds of thousands or even millions of different perspectives on any given subject that you're actually involved
Pulls it all together.
in. So in other words, when you're talking about, what you just said, Glitz, about there being, so obvious answers to questions, like, do we want to have a violent or a non-violent discussion? Obviously, yes, we want to have a
But it's
non-violent
gotta
discussion.
be
where-
in there, you
Well,
gotta
no,
say
listen,
it.
no, I know it, but what
I
I'm
know,
saying
yeah.
is, everyone has a different perspective of what that
What
means.
that is, yeah,
So then it's coming to a consensus on all of this stuff,
right,
with everybody that's interested in being in on that discussion.
right.
It's really important, because, you know, you got different people thinking.
It's gotta be like part of our orientation, right?
So, right, what is violent, what is a
nonviolent
violent
communication?
or non-confrontational communication, or competitiveness compared to cooperativeness, you know, whatever. How does all this boil down for each person that's actually becoming part of it?
Yeah,
And that's how you readjust, what you were just saying about readjusting your, let's say, manifesto, or your
Yeah.
statement of what this is about. You adjust it by the people that get involved. They
Right.
all have their say in it. So it's like a democracy, obviously. But,
Well, it's a democracy, but we want, the consensus is gonna be tough, but it's
Right.
it's
but
important.
it's worth it.
you won't
it's
ever
worth
get a
it.
full consensus, but
No,
you
we
will.
will.
You
Yeah,
will
no, we
bring
will.
half
We
different
have to.
perspectives
That's-
together, right?
We have to, that's
That's
like
the
Well, I
the,
don't know, because you're always bringing in
100%.
you're always bringing in new
Then that's the
people,
thing,
so-
we,
that's, I
right.
think that's like an important, really important thing to discuss right now.
Yeah, I
is-
agree.
Is why consensus has to be the model. Because if we try to do this without consensus, we're going to be like, we're baking like a ticking time bomb into the pie.
Right.
And so we have to start with these basic agreements.
What can we all agree on?
What can we all agree
And
on?
I guess
And then
the
everything
goal is
everything
that,
else
is ultimately
outside of that is
complete
like
consensus.
in the ether. It's okay for things not to be on paper.
Right.
Like if we don't
It's
agree,
also okay
don't
for-
put it down. It's
Right.
okay.
Different people to
Yeah.
disagree with what you're saying, because
And that's the
Then
beauty of
they
having
come
the
in.
network, right?
Right.
So that there are these community spaces where these agreements are in place and these locations. And then outside of that, people have their own agreements and their own spaces where they have their own expectations.
Right.
And that's okay too.
at the center of the thing, I definitely agree with that. There needs to be a full consensus on what you're aiming, what your goals are, and where you're going. Because otherwise, it starts to go off track immediately.
Right.
As soon as someone says, oh, no, I think we should do it this way, you follow that person. Again,
Right.
that goes back to
So there's
personality.
no following of what it is that you bring in different personalities, different opinions. And with those opinions, we can adapt the structure in a way that opens it up for participation for that person and everyone else in a way that they can all come to an agreement. But that is the issue. Like if somebody comes in and they're just like, well, I want to be, super racist and I hate black people. I don't want any black people around. That's always an easy kind of example. But
Or let's just use like a realistic example, right?
I mean, that's pretty
like,
realistic.
Here's a more realistic. But
Yeah.
we're gonna probably deal with a lot of vegans, right?
Yeah.
What if there's a situation where vegans come in and they're like, there should be no animals,
Right.
no
right,
animals allowed
Right.
on community property. That could create a lot of conflict.
Well, right,
And,
like-
and how are we gonna resolve that?
I agree, like resolving it in one way would essentially, it's all through education, right? So the animals in general play an important role in the environmental balance. So it's like we kind of come to some understandings about, it's like, that doesn't mean that like what it would be is like, for instance, like, maybe we just have a separate kitchen for people who want to, consume vegan food and there's no meat and that's a rule.
The
And we
vegan
say-
kitchen.
We say,
Yeah.
is this a good compromise for you?
Right.
And then we ask the vegans and they say, okay, cool, like, but we don't like it this way. So, for instance, another compromise that I've thought of, I might have mentioned this before, but the idea that like, what if say you had like a herd of cows, right? And they're running around in the outskirts of the city land, kind of like doing their thing, living just natural lives. But they're all tracked. They all have basically heart trackers. And when one of them dies, then we know immediately that animal died and we go out and we harvest this. We actually never actually kill any sort of animal. We're just, and of course they'll be older or whatever. We have to do an assessment on like, why did this animal die? If it's like, diseased or something like that. We don't want mad cow disease, but you know what I mean? So it's like, there's kind of like this way
You do know
of
what
assessing
cow
it.
disease comes from. That's for feeding cows.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so I think that this could be an opportunity for having like different spaces with different principles, right? There could be a wholly like totally vegan space where there are no animal products.
Right.
There could be a space where this is a mixed use space where
Right.
vegans and
Right, and even with the affiliates, the
Like-
whole thing about the affiliates is that there's a person that says absolutely not, I cannot be anywhere near where they're
Right.
harvesting food animals or anything like that. Then you say, well, we do have affiliate over here that is completely that way, and that is completely
Yeah.
purist as far as.
We're trying to find a place that everyone feels the happiest and most comfortable and be able to construct and design a system that can be as inclusive as possible while also holding up to certain standards that we all agree. So that's the fundamental concept of
It's
how
the
we
beauty
come
of like
together.
being human, right? We all have different perspectives. Some things we're never going to agree on, but we can still co-create this network of experience
Yeah.
where we build a better world.
Yeah, I highly agree with that, and that the beauty of it will be that as we reach consensus, it's built into the system, and people who are coming in understand that every single person here has agreed upon something,
Yeah.
and that you also have every right to express why you disagree, and that with that, we'll have a conversation now. It'll be great. It'll be good to be able to have a conversation about someone's alternative
That's how you
perspective,
can
whatever it is.
readjust though, too. Like, in other words, if you say, well, it seems all along we've been sort of stuck in this place where we say it can
Not
only
really.
be this way.
This is kind of one of the things.
Really want to remain flexible as well on all of that, stuff, on every subject.
Right. Right. I would imagine that like every agreement that we have.
I don't think so. I think that right now we're coming up with sort of still comprehensive plans about all this. Yeah, it does jump around a little bit, and I definitely agree that
We
when,
do need
you
to
know-
start having minutes in
Just to
advance.
help you guys be more organized.
I agree.
I agree. We do need to start having minutes in advance where we're going to talk about this for this amount of time, this for this
Yeah.
amount of time.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean
That's-
that's stuff that I'm not
That's
very good
something
at.
we have to do to be a legal nonprofit.
Yeah,
If you're not like publishing your minutes in advance of your meetings for your members to vote on,
okay.
then you're not
To
a
vote
nonprofit.
on what if that's what you're voting on.
That's what a board of directors does.
I like it.
It's
I mean,
gotta
I like
be-
that.
it's gotta
That's
be-
totally
it's gotta be the plan that you're doing at a meeting,
Yeah,
and obviously you haven't had a chance to evolve that.
No, yeah.
right.
But you're totally
Right.
right.
I mean, yeah, you're definitely right. And I'm not the greatest at like, I mean, I'm okay with organization, but it
Yeah.
definitely, I could use help with that. And like, we could come up with a system that would be more inclusive for what we want to talk about. One thing I did want to just do today is just open the floor for anyone to talk about anything that they do want to discuss. Princess brought up this whole thing, which I think, the structure and coming up with, these different groups, I think is definitely very important that we can start segmenting it, but, yeah,
I can see the Communotopia website having this like community connector like application, right? Where you have these check boxes where you like choose all of the agreements you agree with and the ones you don't agree with, and then it matches you with a community that fits your exact profile.
yeah, I mean, that was definitely the app that I was trying to develop too. It's called Consensus, like a census, but like, seeing what people agree on, what they don't, and then being able to find, but yeah, I mean, that's definitely a move. Just creating an app or a website for that would be good, but no, I think you're right that, and as we go forward, we definitely want, it's gonna be getting crazier, so we definitely want more organization, more structure to it. I like the idea of minutes and voting on what we talk about.
Well, you just said, Blitz really gave me a sort of visual, and working visual in my head, obviously. But anyway, if you think about, in terms of what you're doing at the tree, and Communotopia is the trunk of the tree. And then as community members come in, they can branch out to whatever part of this crown that they, again, back to use the crown, that part that they actually are more drawn to, they can always follow that branch off into where they land is where they belong. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
kind of like a visual that works.
like it. I'm gonna draw that.
We need a leader.
And the same thing with like a river with capillaries. And
You can't be
What would you see the roots as?
I know, yeah, definitely can.
well, the roots and the foundation,
Fact, I-
and you're gonna need that too, so you need to plant yourself firmly as a community, obviously, and so the roots are your principles and your manifesto.
Oh, principles,
That
yes.
You're already building.
Yes.
What you're building is that, and like I said before, you're basically a seedling now, you're basically just emerging from the seed.
Right.
And so if you visualize it that way,
I do.
anything that you do that's actually starting to become a real thing or physical happening in this world is what you're growing, is
Right.
what you're
Right.
creating or manifesting.
It's also a fruit tree, so it bears fruits that can provide, you know, these different resources for all of the world, really. And that's the idea too, is like we create enough food for us that we can start distributing it to people who are not a part of the community, like
Right.
supposedly. I mean, they are anyway because they're like there, but you know, I mean, that's how you kind of like integrate people into it. That's what Quinn Eaker is doing at you know, that, and he could be a potential
And
affiliate,
at the
right?
same time, you're already always bringing in the abundance from that, from your distribution, you're bringing in.
That's that's the mycelial network, right? So that's where that's the network that's connecting all of the different communities so that they can trade and distribute the resources in the proper places. And that's what the mycelium does for the forest, is it like it takes the things and it turns them into something that the trees can then use and it like
And it facilitates communication so that those resources are allocated where they need to be.
and the trees and the mycelial network know that. So it's a really good, you know, that's obviously that could be part of a fucking slide that we're using at the beginning of our presentation, and just be like kind of indicating what that means, and you know, use that as an analogy. I don't put a cool graphic for it, but
So I am gonna let you guys be for now, because I gotta go run over for that shipment.
I mean, I think this seems like a good stopping place to be.
I would say so too. I want to really, I really like this idea we'll try to do something like this next time where we can kind of come up with a number of things that we want to talk about, and you know, that'll just be probably in the builders chat. You know, Jessica, for instance, you know, what we've been doing is doing these interviews and just kind of finding out what it is that people are interested in, ways that we can kind of work together on manifesting your dreams. You can help us in manifesting ours and kind of coming up with a collective dream of like what this is that we're trying to do. So, you know, in the coming week or something, it'd be really nice to, we can keep in contact about it, but just set up an interview with you. And then basically what we have another, so I added you to the Communitopia Seekers chat. That's just like a whole bunch of people that like I feel are interested in, you know, community development, but most of them haven't really shown much interest at this point yet.
It's like
I think they're kind of just
5 or 6
watching.
active.
There's probably a good like 6 or so active people. But a lot of them have really said that they're interested. And so we're kind of picking from there, and then adding people to the Communitopia Builders chat, which would be more so the people who are actually trying to like, you know, who are here at the meetings, who want to like really contribute some effort, who are trying to like build their own teams underneath them as well. And like you said, you know, people who are part of, you know, permaculture and food forest communities and things, and, you know, who want to grow food. Well, you know, we could start bringing them together and kind of coming up with a good game plan. I think that's honestly, that's really the net, like that is the first thing that we should really be doing, as far as like accomplishing goals. You know, we've already talked about it, but we need to start, you know, actually putting plans into place for establishing community gardens and starting to like plant some plants somewhere, even if it's on private property, and coming up with an agreement about what that means. You know, you plant some fruit trees and you know, kind of get the thing going, and then, you know, in a certain amount of time, we can start harvesting or whatever and distributing to the community. So, you know, I think that's something that we could specifically, you and I could connect more about as well, and especially on the interview. You know, so just kind of tap into your resources as well, and kind of share with people what it is that, you know, you think about this whole thing that we're doing here. Feel free to introduce them to me. Blitz will also be more than happy to, and you know, we could basically just discuss our plan. I'll get your email at a certain point, and I'll share with you this article, and you can really go through it at your own pace, and kind of see some of the major ideas that we've been coming up with.
Yeah, a wild school. I'm pretty spiritually connected, and so with the wild school and the permaculture and the forest, food forest, and teaching and educating our kids and be a good thing, and then also helping find land and the connections and everything. I'll really be able to help. I believe, and
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to be going to the roots thing, bringing Jeremiah with me and being involved with you all. And
Thank you for coming, Jessica.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
and we all need to believe and know that the right people are going to be connected with you all, and we're all going to come together. It's going to work out. We're going to coexist, and I just keep believing and keep having.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're building
Thank
something
you.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I feel that for sure, and I've been really grateful to be connected with this group of people here, and that you come on and like show this interest like that. It's like, it's really encouraging to know that people, really want to make something like this happen. So, and and a beautiful family like yourself, and like, it gives me more incentive to make a better world for your kid, even though I don't have my own at this point. It's like, that I have all the incentive in the world to try to make this happen, and so it'd be really great to continue connecting with you and learn in ways. Very sweet. So yeah, it's been really great. I agree with you, Princess. I think we could all continue working towards creating an even more organized structure, and really maybe even once we get these kind of systems built into place, maybe we have it like each week we focus on or maybe it's even like a month of focusing on just the food forest aspect of it. Maybe we just jump
The
into
leader
that.
needs
We
to
gotta build the
start
trunk
doing
of the
that.
tree so that the leaves have a place to dance.
But yeah, we do need to have, we want to be finding leaders who are excited about all these different aspects of it. I think we already kind of, Selena is one that was very interested in the education aspect. Maybe bring her on in a bigger way. And if you're connected with these food forest people, maybe that's something that you could take kind of like a leadership position, and even if it's just connecting the people that is a leader,
The
so.
stronger we can make the core team,
Yeah.
the foundation of what we're trying to build, the easier it's gonna be to start plugging these things in. We're gonna start to see this growth,
Right.
on top of what we were doing.
I agree. So, we can kind of come
I
up with
think
that
that's-
structure a little better, and
That's what's gonna help us grow the most, is having a firm foundation for like the Facebook groups and the legal foundation. That's, we spent the first 2-3 meetings talking about our principles
right.
and like kind of a outline of what we expect it to look like. Now we're getting a little more into the trunk of the tree and starting to talk about how that's gonna manifest.
Yeah.
And create the foundation and support for what we see developing.
Yeah, I like that. Yep, that sounds good.
Obviously, even the trunk needs to grow out.
Right,
as
right.
you
Yeah,
start to
and
expand your-
every meeting we have, we're adding another ring to the
I agree
trunk.
with that.
Right.
So we've only got 4 rings right now. We're still a sapling.
Yeah, it's true. I definitely agree with that. And that's what I've been trying to do as well with the article there. Obviously, I keep sharing that with people, and then adding comments and adding the things that they think should be added to it, so it can just be this like developing structure that we all sort of can contribute to.
We're gonna water it.
Just gotta water it. Keep
Yep.
watering it.
Yep.
Good.
Yep, it's gonna grow.
Sweet.
Sounds
Well,
good.
I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining, Jessica.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Peace, love.
Have a great week. I might see you over there at the Rooster Brown thing. That'll be my last my last hurrah in St. Pete for a while. I've gone to Savannah, so,
We'll see you on Zoom then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah, when I can,
Yeah,
obviously.
when it's possible.
It was nice seeing you.
Thanks, Jessica.
Have a good day.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
TCI, yeah, too. Holla.